Hi, it's Tristan back with another video, and in this video I wanted to just talk a little bit about a comparison between two headphones that I've been trying out for the last couple of days, the Audeze LCD-2s that I own and the Sennheiser HD800s. Now unfortunately, just to preface this video, I've already sent back the Sennheisers, so I should have done this video when I had them so I can show them to you. But yeah, my final conclusion was that I sent those back and I'm sticking with the Audeze LCD-2s for now. But I did want to just post my comments on the different sounds that I heard from each headphone and why I sent back the HD800s. First of all, you should know that the setup that I'm using is the Shit Audio Lear amplifier, which is a hybrid tube amplifier as well as solid state. And then also the Shit Audio Bifrost Uber, which is the latest current, as of this video, generation of their DAC. So I have to say that I've pretty much determined that for my ears, the Sennheiser headphones are too bright. And that's generally true with most Sennheiser headphones that I've tried, and I've tried several of them over the years. In general, they just don't agree with my hearing and with my ears, and that might just be me. I generally like a more laid-back kind of sound, and I find that Sennheiser headphones tend to be a little bit harsh in the highs. And for listening to them for long periods of time, I notice that my ears start ringing and I get some minor tinnitus going on in my ears after a couple of hours using the Sennheisers at relatively moderate to high volumes. So that's something that I've come to, it's a determination that I've come to finally, I've come to realize that about myself and about my ears. Everyone's ears are different, so not every headphone is going to agree with you. And I just prefer a more laid-back, mellow sound. So that's the overall gist of why I returned the HD800s, and I'm sticking with the Audeze LCD-2s for now. I just prefer the sound in general. I don't get as much listening fatigue, with them, with the Audezes, that I did with the Sennheisers. Also, I just like the sound better. It's just something that's more pleasing to me. Now that being said, the Sennheiser HD800s had a wider soundstage, and that was pretty fun to listen to, especially with certain kinds of music such as classical or live performances and things like that. The Audezes tend to have a bit of a closed-in feel. I mean, they're certainly open headphones. However, as open headphones go, they're not super wide. They do have a pretty good soundstage, but the Audezes in some ways feel a little bit like closed headphones in terms of the sound signature that they give you, the bass, the little bit of bass boost that they give you, and also the not super wide soundstage. The other thing about the Sennheiser HD800s is that the bass was a little bit lacking for my taste. I prefer a little bit more of a bass in my headphones. Now I have heard with expensive aftermarket cables and the right amplifier, the Sennheiser 800s can really do good with bass and will have a little bit of a lower sound signature, not as treble enhanced. The Shit Audio Lear amplifier that I have is apparently a very good combination with the Sennheiser HD800s for that aspect. It makes them less bright and just a lot more pleasant to listen to. And I definitely did experience that when listening to them. I did not try an aftermarket cable, however, so I could have probably seen more improvement with an aftermarket cable, because I have heard the Sennheiser HD800s do tend to get better with an aftermarket cable. So that's something to be aware of. But yeah, that's one of the things I really didn't like very much with the Sennheiser HD800s. They really do have a sort of treble boost to them, and I've heard it's around the 6,000 to 7,000 kilohertz range. Something I noticed when listening to some Green Day songs, with the Sennheiser HD800s is I heard mostly the cymbal, the drum cymbal. That was sort of accentuated, and that's something that I didn't like. It just felt a little bit harsh to me in terms of it sort of leaning to the upper range of the spectrum, the sound spectrum. Now that can be really nice for certain kinds of music, as I mentioned, because it can really bring out a lot of detail. Say, for instance, in violin, you can hear the plucking of each string, the actual contact point, the touching of each string that the musician does. So the Sennheiser HD800s can provide more detail in that respect. However, just for my listening preferences, I didn't prefer it. So that's just my opinion on that. Also, the build quality of the Sennheiser HD800s didn't feel very good to me. It kind of had a little bit of a cheap feel. I mean, the ear surrounds are plastic. They're silver colored plastic. If you put them down somewhere like on a table or whatever, they can mar very easily. So you have to be very careful with the Sennheiser HD800s. So for the price being charged, they did feel a bit cheapy to me. in terms of the build quality. Now on the plus side, the Sennheiser HD800s were very comfortable to wear. I felt like I could wear them all day and not have any discomfort at all because they were very comfortable on the ear. They go around the ear and they just feel very comfortable and light on the head, you know, when you're wearing them. Contrast that to the LCD-2s. These are quite heavy headphones, and when you put them on, you can see that you know, they're kind of big and they just a little bit heavy on your head. They are quite comfortable, and I feel that I can wear these for a while, you know, but not as long as the Sennheiser HD800s. So, you know, everything has trade-offs. There's no such thing as a perfect headphone. But, you know, these are some of the negatives and positives that I just wanted to talk about in my comparison. And hopefully this is sort of instructive to others who might be either looking at these two headphones, or maybe you own one or both of these. And you can kind of leave your comments as well and see what you think. My overall impressions and conclusions of the two headphones is that the Audeze LCD-2s are very accurate and have a nice presentation that agree with my ears. And that presentation tends to be a bit more mellow and more leaning towards the bass and the mid-range. Yet they're a little bit heavy and not quite as comfortable to wear for long periods of time. Contrast that to the Sennheiser HD800s. Those have a sound signature that is, I think, more detailed, but also more geared towards the highs, the treble, and certainly does not provide as good of a bass response. Unless you do a lot of work in terms of amping it very carefully and getting the right, you know, expensive aftermarket cables, then I think you could customize the sound of the Sennheiser HD800s to be closer to that of the Audeze LCD-2s. However, I don't find the build quality of the Sennheiser HD800s that impressive, especially for the price being paid, given that they're quite expensive headphones. Although on the Sennheiser HD800s, I did like the fact that they were 300 ohm. I found that the 300 ohms when using a headphone amp was quite nice and worked quite well with my Shit Audio Lear headphone amplifier. Although they did not work quite as well with my portable headphone amplifier, the one that I'm currently using is the Pico Power. So I ended up returning my Sennheiser HD800s and decided to just keep and use the Audeze LCD-2s for now, as I found out that these are really, for now, the headphones for me. I just really enjoy the liquidy smooth and sort of slightly laid back sound signature of these. They're just really fun to listen to and provide a really nice, rich sound. Although the sound stage and the details are not quite as much as the Sennheiser HD800s. You know, the price is certainly cheaper on these. I think the build quality on these is better. And again, they agree with the kind of sound that I like and that my ears like as well. So the conclusion that I'm coming to is I think I might want to try the Audeze LCD-3s, because those apparently add a bit more of a sound stage and a little bit better treble as well than the Audeze LCD-2. So that might be next on my list for headphones to try. So I hope this sort of frank conversational chat about these two headphones was interesting and useful to you. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. And thanks for watching. Again, this has been my discussion on the comparison of two headphones, the Audeze LCD-2s and the Sennheiser HD800s. Thanks for watching.